right. Hello, YouTubers. And
recording in progress.
And we're rolling. Good morning, everyone. Oh, I don't know if you'll see me modeled in the sun or in the dark. It's okay. You don't need to see me. We're here together. And I'm so grateful for all of you here together. I'm a little off my game. The topic I've given this meditation this morning is come as you are, because that's how I've had to do it. Come as I am, just right here. And I will have a poem to share, but I'm thinking of a couple poems. One is by the yogi Dana Fowles, and she has one. The one line I'm remembering it from it is something like, you don't have to have your refrigerator clean. just you don't have to have redemption. You just you're here. Just you're here now. And so what we'll be doing this half hour is I'll be really going in on one of the segments we spend usually, sometimes as much as a quarter of our time together I spend on just arriving, and I using the cues that I've gotten from my teachers: ground, sound, and breath. And I'll elaborate on those a little bit. And that'll take us right to a deep stillness. So we'll sit in our stillness, in our meditation for a bit. But I might just do a little bit of movement before that. And then our meditation. Yes, today I think that'll be the sequence. So as I've been sitting still, what I'm noticing is I need to wrap myself with a little. So again, in the spirit of have what you need nearby. Maybe it's a glass of water. Maybe it's a wrap. Maybe it's a cushion for your knees. And again, thank you for joining us and at this different time today. And those of you who find me later on the recordings, find us later. So the sound of the bell will take us into our arrival powerfully, and just feel for that. Simply arriving, coming as you are. And just letting your attention gently, attention may feel like it has a few hard edges to that word, to. But go into the shun, the softer edges of it. Simply letting what's around, what's coming in your thinking, in what you're noticing especially, just letting that come in, and as if you're sitting by the edge of a stream, perhaps on a pause on your hike. Maybe there's no one around. Maybe there are other hikers. And perhaps you're curious about the birds that are hopping around in the leaves. Or perhaps you're mesmerized by the flow and sound of water over stones and twigs. And the colors and reflections. So all that's pulled up a grand image, but my point was to go into that sense of awe. Listening. Listening opens us up to that connection, that conversation between the outer and the inner that is always there. That outer and inner, and that outer that these days, I think any days, included all the strife and issues and problems and arguments, as well as the kind-hearted acts, the growing seeds, the things that bring us food and nourishment and connection and sustenance and joyful experiences. So all of that, we're always in conversation, inner and outer. We're never alone. We never don't belong. So that's that aspect, ground, sound, breath of sound. I don't usually start with that one, although technically, well, I started with the bell. That brought us into that today. And I'm going into this more thoroughly today in a way that we can spend more time on it so that we can have it ready to quickly come here whenever we need to come to that place, the doorway, as my teacher Russell says, the doorway to presence. It's not presence itself, but this doorway that allows us to drop all of the things that we think of ourselves as, the way we're connected to the outer world, the way we think of ourselves and our inner world, and just be the presence that we are. Now, those two parts of us, the always becoming, the personality, all that is always there. But if we can lean into a little bit more often the presence, that presence will infuse and inform and support and nourish our doing being. So let's come to ground. And just notice where what got woken up, and as I said, ground. For me, and out of the habit of going there, it was the surfaces of the backs of my legs and my bottom, my pants, the nice firmness of this couch. The pleasant feel of a nice, clean wooden floor under my foot, one foot's folded under. So where is your attention finding ground, the support underneath you that carries us? And that is the gift of gravity holding us down. Were we on the moon, as we've seen images, we'd be floating. In the moon's, do they call it atmosphere? I'm not sure. The rim, that cushion around the moon. And perhaps like me, you can't avoid feeling the third leg of this. I'm going to stay with ground a little longer, but all three are present, the sound, breath, ground, breath, as we're noticing maybe the solidness and heaviness of the body. The breath is there, gently moving, nudging open places that are maybe holding, maybe waiting. So sensing the way you're being, we don't really feel this so much as maybe when you see an object falling, like when my cat would push something off the shelf, you notice the object falling. This is the obvious image of gravity. And in our bodies, we hold ourselves upright, and gravity, actually, the grid of gravity holds us upright. But it's coming through our entire body. I mentioned the parts that are touching the couch under me, but I could imagine feeling to my left shoulder area and that upper chest, upper back area. Gravity is coming through there. Gravity is like lines, invisible lines coming from anywhere in the atmosphere down, all being pulled like a bouquet of balloons being held at the center of the earth. And I'm liking that image as, you know, when you have a helium balloon on a string, and it can flow and wobble, just like our bodies can flow. And you could even do that now, just jiggle your body flowing, and yet at the same time, you could bobble your head, move your shoulders, shake your hands, and all this, it's just like that string of holding onto the helium balloon. It's free to move, and yet it's in this flow of gravity. And opposing the flow of gravity downward. So I forgot, and I am not totally well schooled on this, but gravity, I remember this from high school physics or something, high school basic science, middle school maybe, that gravity is the attraction between two bodies. So I fall short in my expertise here, but we also have, at least I'll trust what Russell said, we've got a gravitational pull upward from the moon. The moon is a much smaller body, but it's not as forceful a pull. So we're held down to the surface of the earth, but we can avail ourselves of this levity, of this upward gravity. So it's as if we've got these dueling, turn a helium balloon upside down and you've got the strings going in both directions. And we can work with those strings to not be rigid, but to feel that we're supported in this gravitational field. Neil deGrasse Tyson might be proud of me, my efforts there. And then breath. And this morning, I'm feeling like what our movement, besides that little jiggling we just did, that our movement might be a lifting arms on the in-breath and a lowering on the out-breath. But what I'm needing, and you can cultivate, what's the word I'm looking for? You can customize this for as you need. You can move your arms in any direction, and maybe you'll just do kind of what I'll call a formal yoga, sweeping the arms out to the side and up, long arms, and then back down. but you can go a little more in my direction, more like Qigong or Tai Chi arms that are dancing and exploring the space around you. But basically an in-breath with the upward reaching and stretching, and an out-breath as you come down. And imagine feeling this movement as we're guided, the tempo guided by our breath rhythm. Imagine the movement coming from that anchored golden ball that is also, the word anchor was very solid to me, so maybe modify it to feel the fluidity of a water balloon, or however you might want to think of your golden ball. One silly image I have from that gold is like olive oil, that it's covered in olive oil and it's really, it's very fluid. And if you need to pause between, maybe the arms will come resting down, pause for a moment, and then as the arms reach up, or maybe you even pause halfway through your reach. Continue breathing, listening for that tempo like a metronome, tempo of your breath. And so feeling all of yourself, even as my words have said, arms, golden ball, the joints of the hands, the joints of the shoulders, the many connections, the intricate architecture of the ribs around the lungs and heart and diaphragm muscle, the collarbones, the side body, the shoulder blades, and the many, many muscles, all these very organic shapes, nothing rigidly geometric. And then landing your hands when you're ready, that your hands, come as I'm motioning, your hands just come palms soft, so not rigidly stretched out, but cupped a little bit, elbows bent, and the hands like little satellite dishes, listening for the breath around the upper belly, the base of the ribs, diaphragm muscle. And then listen very dearly to the feel of the expansion there, and let the hands mimic the expansion. And as the breath goes out, there will be a little bit of a pulling in, and the hands might come closer to the body. And if you like, you can take this, you can stay here as long as you like. I'm very drawn to take this up toward my jaw area, same kind of, it's as if the hands are the witnesses and listeners for how we, creating a little more space as we breathe in and breathe out, that massaging action, that wave action of the breath. And I've decided to come to the jaw area as during the night I do a little clenching and releasing. And just feel this is just like a friend when you're talking to a friend and they're listening to your words and they're kind of, you know that they're hearing you. These hands are feeling and hearing this ebb and flow. And anywhere else you might like to bring your hands, the shoulders or at the throat, or near the temples of the head. Just for a few more breaths. And as you're ready, you can let your hands rest. Let ourselves move towards stillness. But in this arriving after moving and exploring sound, ground, and breath, just seeing who you are now. And perhaps sensing a bit more of the capital P presence that you are. And we'll segue to about 8 minutes of stillness, meditation. Please adjust your seat, your position, which could be lying down, could be curled up on your side, could be with your legs back on the floor and legs on a chair or hassock. And you might, if you've readjusted yourself, you might give yourself a quick, it could be just the word arrive. Maybe ground sound breath is too elaborate. It's not so much the tool, but the habit and the remembering of this pathway, this doorway to presence. And here we let silence speak a little more potently for us. So again and again, just resting as being, even as there may be sweet birdsong in the distance or annoying to-do lists in your mind. Rest as being. And as often I do, I'm calling on a poem that you can just feel and listen with all your cells in these final moments of our meditation together. It's by David Whyte. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing, close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way to begin the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until it becomes an intimate, private ear that can really listen to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing. Close in. The step you don't want to take. So come back to feeling breath flowing through, sound perhaps of I'm not sure what lovely bird is right outside our window here, ground, where we take this first step. As we bring this meditation to a close, and as I usually invite you, you can do your bow right from where you are. Maybe you're lying down, maybe you're sitting. You can do it in your imagination or just with your hands in front of your heart or on your heart. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to stop the recordings and then we can stay and chat, those of you who are here live time, for a few moments. Thank you, YouTubers. See you next week at our usual time, 10 o'clock, streaming on Eastern Time Sundays.